For every one suicide death, there are 4 hospital admissions. For every one suicide death, there are 8 emergency department visits. For every one suicide death, there are 27 self-reports of trying to commit suicide. For every one suicide death, there are 275 people who have seriously considered taking their own life. According to WHO, which is the World Health Organization, over 700,000 people will commit suicide per year. You are not alone. Suicide affects more people than you would even imagine. I myself have lost 2 people to suicide. One in December of 2018 and one in May of 2022. The grief is hard and the grief is real. When I lost my friend in December of 2018, I didn't really feel a lot of the grief. Of course I felt the immediate grief of when I found out that she had succeeded and she'd committed suicide, but then I seemed to almost push it to the back of my head. But after a while, so on the year anniversary, I had a relapse and I ended up in A&E. I had tried to commit suicide myself, and from that I had the most stigmatized visit I have ever had in that A&E department. The reason I was there was obvious. The reason I was there was because I was grieving for one of my friends. Yet I was told by a mental health professional that I couldn't grieve for somebody I'd never met. The relationship I had with this particular friend who I'd lost was an online internet relationship. We had spoke on the phone, we had FaceTimed, we had sent pictures of each other, we talked on a daily basis. We formed that relationship, and I was being told by a mental health professional, or somebody who was supposed to be a mental health professional, that I couldn't grieve for that person, even though grief is what I was really experiencing. It was hard to be told by somebody who almost had that authority figure that what I was experiencing was invalid. On the year anniversary of losing this friend, I was in A&E 5 times. 5 times within the space of a week. And because of that, I was eventually admitted to a psychiatric unit because I just couldn't keep myself safe. But why did it take 5 times, 5 attempts? Why did it take 5 attempts for mental health services to realise that I wasn't just a cry for help? I wanted to be with my friend. I wanted to be with her and see her again. But being told that I couldn't grieve for her was probably one of the most hardest things I've ever heard from a mental health professional. And trust me, I have heard my fair share of really bad things. I've been told that I was homeless by a mental health professional. I've been told that I need to get over it. I've been told that I need to just listen and get help from the people who are trying to help me. When in reality, just getting the help is not exactly the easiest thing that you can. All of those things, being told that I was homeless, being told that I was faking it, being told that I needed to just accept the help, that was nothing compared to being told that I couldn't grieve for a friend that I was grieving for. When I was finally admitted to the psych ward after numerous trips to A&E, and an on-call psychiatrist saying, well, she just can't keep herself safe, so we're going to have to admit her, I told this psychiatrist in the hospital why I was there, and I told him what the other mental health professional had said. And this psychiatrist turned around and said, well, that's a load of rubbish. If you have formed a bond with somebody, and if you have helped them and tried to stop them from committing suicide, you are going to grieve for that person. Whether you've met them or not, whether you've had a physical relationship with them, as in you've physically hung out with them, you're still going to have a bond emotionally. Each person deals with trauma differently, and he might not deal with the trauma the way you're dealing with it, but that doesn't mean that you can't grieve for somebody you never met, because you can. And after this, that is when he handed me a leaflet for a bereavement charity. And I did this bereavement charity, and then through the bereavement charity I was then recommended to join a support group called SOBS. SOBS stands for Survivors of Bereavement by Suicide, and through them I have met some incredible people who have also lost others to suicide, and the pain that they experience and being understood by a group of people is the most priceless thing that I ever have experienced. Having somebody fully understand the grief that comes from losing someone to suicide. If you lose someone to suicide, you are about 3 or 4 times more likely to commit suicide yourself. The pain of losing someone to suicide is a different type of grief. With my friend, she was 18. She was 18 when she committed suicide, and I had no chance to process it. She shouldn't have left this world at that age, but she did. And that is something that took me over 18 months to 2 years to come to terms with, because my friend shouldn't have died at 18. She should still be on this earth. She should still be talking to me daily. We should have an amazing relationship. But instead, she's gone. And sometimes I cry about it, just randomly. Like, it doesn't even need to be triggered by anything. And that is all grief. So being told that I couldn't grieve for her was something that I hate that mental health professional for saying. If you take anything from this video, I just want you to know that you're not alone, that there are people out there who lose people to suicide. And if you are somebody who is considering suicide, please don't. And even if me saying don't is the one thing that saves your life, that is what I'm here for. The whole purpose of my channel is to help others who feel like it's their time to leave this world, to realise that it's not. So if you are contemplating suicide, don't.